Hello, everyone. This is Jay Inspiration Masters. We are a communication and leadership training institute based in Dallas, Fort Worth area. We conduct the programs on communication and leadership for the entrepreneurs, for the business owners, and anyone who want to enhance their skills in communication, presentation, and leadership. We also conduct the programs for the young children, right from the first grade to the 12th grade, and also have programs for the college students. We have locations throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area and online presence in all the 50 states and Canada. As a part of our inspiring series, we get the great opportunity to meet the entrepreneurs, the business owners, the artists, the difference makers, the people who are making a difference, not just in the United States, but around the world. And today, I have a great difference maker here with me. And today's difference maker is Gauri Junnarkar. I think you've met Gauri Junnarkar through Inspiration Masters before as a part of an inspiring series. And I'll give you some brief introduction about Gauri. She's doing some amazing things here in Dallas, Fort Worth area. Let me tell you something about Gauri. Gauri Junnarkar is an author, international keynote speaker, nutrition, Ayurveda, and wellness expert. She's the founder of and director of Ayurnutrition, an integrative and holistic wellness practice in Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. Gauri Junnarkar is a highly accomplished, registered, licensed dietitian, nutritionist, certified diabetes educator, classically trained Vaidya, that's Ayurveda practitioner, Panchakarma specialist, and licensed massage therapist. She has earned her Ayurvedic medicine degree, the BAMS, from the University of Mumbai. She also holds a Master's of Science degree in nutrition from Texas Women's University. Welcome, Gauri, to Inspiration Masters. You've been here before, and so glad to have you back. And we are going to be talking a lot with Gauri about her new book. And we're going to find out in a second what the new book is all about. So before we begin, we are going to be talking something about Ayurveda and nutrition. So as required, I'm doing the disclaimer. All information discussed in this video is for educational purposes only. The content is not meant to provide medical advice, does not substitute medical advice. Talk to your doctor before making any changes to your diet and lifestyle. Inspiration Masters is not liable for how you use and implement information you receive. So this is just for information, education purposes. Any questions related to your health, you talk to your doctor before making any changes. So with that, let's begin. Gauri, tell us, you've been here, and tell us something to our viewers about yourself. A whole lot of people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area already know you, but we want to hear it straight from you. So tell us something about yourself.
So thank you so much for having me back. It's always a pleasure, Jay, to again talk to you and again spread more awareness about Ayurveda and nutrition. And just to talk about myself in a little nutshell, I say I'm a wellness entrepreneur. I'm very passionate about Ayurveda. I love to talk about Ayurveda and nutrition, integrate that as a platform, something that I want to offer to the clients where they can benefit from that, and they can see how their health and wellness can be benefited by both these sciences together, by integrating both these sciences together. And what I offer a lot of times is more an experience into their health and wellness, and something we can work on long term, and how they can see how a step-by-step process, step-by-step method actually helps them long term achieve some of their health and wellness goals and things for them long term.
Wow, excellent. Thanks for that information. I think a whole lot of people know you, so that was really helpful. Also, for all the viewers, you recently co-authored a book, Ayurveda and Yoga, Path to Health and Healing. And that is the book which is for all of us, for the general public. Discover your body type and heal yourself. So that is for, and she has one prior publication too. This is the second book in the series. The first is called A Premier on Ayurveda. That was published in 2019, and that is a practical guide to practical guide, and that is for the dietitian, nutritionist, and healthcare professionals. So this is a book for all of us, and we are going to be talking about that book too. So Gauri's expertise in several areas such as nutrition, diabetes education, Ayurveda, Panchakarma, and Ayurvedic therapies. So tell us something about the Ayurnutrition. That's a one-of-a-kind institute. And tell us about the foundation, how you started it, and what was the idea behind it.
So, one of the things, the reason behind why we started with Ayurnutrition is that, working as a registered licensed dietitian in different hospitals, different clinics, one of the things I always thought about is that, I wish there was a more preventive option where people could look at how they can implement some of more preventive measures into their health, and they could prevent some of those long-term complications, some of those long-term, especially with diabetes. Being a certified diabetes educator, that is something I always felt. I wish I could implement something with Ayurveda, something with nutrition, and offer a more holistic approach. And that's where Ayurnutrition was born, to bring in a more integrative platform to clients where we could actually combine the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda with nutrition. And that's what is the story behind Ayurnutrition.
Yeah, excellent. So I was on my education part too. Being a pharmacist, I was looking up to the latest devices, the constant monitoring, the glucose monitoring systems, and how they are useful, and what is it that they can do in terms of graphs and charts, and what is it that they can bring. So it is very interesting. You're specialized in diabetes, so I can come and ask you some questions on that too about the. I think all of these monitoring systems are quite useful, which they take the reading every few minutes and gives you an in-depth knowledge about your own body, because you can go out and look to all the reports. So that is quite interesting that what you're doing, combining both of these things together. And tell us something more about your practice. How is it different from a whole lot of practices out there? Because you have so many healthcare providers, and a whole lot of them are going to be in the same area of practice.
Correct.
So how is it different from other practices?
Correct. So what distinguishes us from other healthcare professionals and other health practices is that we have an integrative approach. So you're getting the best of both worlds. Being an Ayurveda practitioner, a classically trained Vaidya, I have a lot more expertise again with Ayurveda. Being a registered licensed dietitian, also have expertise in the field of nutrition, and also a certified diabetes educator. So we have everything right there. I call it the one-stop shop for all your health and wellness needs.
Right.
So we are working not only on the nutrition part, we're also working on the holistic health part. We're also working on the stress management part as well. So that's why we have what I call a more integrative approach to all these things. And I feel that becomes us the basic platform, the basic distinguishing characteristic for us, where we are more of a holistic approach for all the different chronic complications and things.
Yeah, I think the chronic part, I think that's very important, because most of our medicine is focused on to a symptomatic treatment. And yes, we talked before that you work on a lot of chronic part, and that is where I think you have the processes called Panchakarma and others. So I'm going to ask you something about it. So tell us something, like if somebody comes in and walk us through the entire process. How do you help a person in their health and wellness journey? So what's the process? Like somebody approaches, and then how you go with the whole process?
Sure. And let me give you an example. When, let's say, a person is coming in and they're looking at a more integrative approach, they have, they have had some nutrition, let's say, consults and things before. Maybe they want to add in a more holistic approach. That's where, we come in with the Ayurveda and the nutrition as well. So when a person walks into our office, or even, let's say, a telehealth, online, one of the things we do is we look at one. If you're looking to the Ayurvedic perspective, we try to figure out again what is the Ayurvedic, what is the Prakriti, what is the dosha type. Again, making a plan which is more in alignment with their doshas, recommending some of those foods, some of that lifestyle which is more in alignment with the doshas, and trying to make sure that we're having more of a balanced approach bringing their doshas back into balance. With the nutrition, they get in more of the modern aspect where we talk more about, for example, if it's more of a, let's say, weight management or something with diabetes, take into consideration, again, what is the history for this person, what is his health and wellness goals. And again, when it comes to modern nutrition, they have a complete meal planning for 1 week that they get. They get a more like a nutrition plan as well. And along with that, we also offer the different Ayurvedic therapies such as Abhyanga, Shirodhara, Swedan and things, which becomes more of a stress management, because that's one of the bigger triggers I see a lot in my practice, Jay, is that we may have our food in place, we may have our exercise and things in place, but what about the stress? Unless we have the stress management in place, a lot of times all these things can go haywire.
Mm-hmm. I like that idea that when you present that first you are going to be doing more of the investigation, diagnostic part of it, both the person's body type as well as the problem type, which you call dosha. So then you combine and then you come up with the plan. And I think that's a great approach to treat, and then especially with the follow-up, because that part is sometimes missing in medicine, that is to see the management of stress. So I like that idea when you say the Shirodhara. I think it's hard to understand, though. I have quite a long background. I've spent 10 years in Ayurveda along with the regular pharmacy. So 20 years in the pharmacy, but I have a whole long background in the Ayurveda division, knowing about some of the things. What you're talking about, it's not very common. Like when you say Shirodhara or Panchakarma, that's not very common. That's to know how it works. But the idea that it is a stress reducer and it's a follow-up part, an important part of the therapy, that is very good to know. And let's get into the books. I think you have written 2 books. The first one is a guide for the dietitian, clinician, and for the healthcare professionals. And then the latest book. So that is a very interesting to me when I see the title of the book, which is called the Ayurveda and Yoga. So you combined Ayurveda and Yoga, paths to health and healing, and discover your body type and heal yourself. So tell us something about that.
Sure. And in fact, I'm going to show you the cover of our book.
Oh, that looks great. Yes. Okay.
So our book, actually, this is co-authored by my fellow dietitian, Pushpa Shanarajan, and myself. And both of us are very passionate about Ayurveda. And we thought about, why not have a book? We had the original primer on Ayurveda for healthcare professionals. Why not bring in something for the general public? And this book talks more about, the Ayurveda, some of those concepts. We have made it more simple. We've also added a lot more about the doshas, the prakriti. We've talked about different Ayurvedic foods for the dosha type. We've talked about a daily routine, the seasonal routine. We also actually have a very interesting chapter. It's actually Ayurveda and relationships. Mm-hmm. So where we've talked about different scenarios and people with different prakriti types, how will they actually react in different scenarios. For example, if they're going for a dinner, or they're going to the grocery store buying different foods, how are the different prakritis actually going to react differently? And a lot of times this is very interesting to see.
Sounds to me like astrology. It would be quite interesting to know about it, right? That is quite
exactly. How does a Vata person react? How does a Pitta person react? How does a Kapha person react in different situations? And we see that as part of, our daily interaction with our clients. We see the daily interaction with our family, with our friends. And that's when we realize, maybe that's one of the reasons why this person is reacting this way, because he's maybe a particular body type. And that's some of the characteristics that are coming up. So it actually helps us see the person in a bigger light, in a more holistic approach. And
That's very interesting. To me, it's very interesting that depending upon the type of a person, how they're going to react, knowing from the body type. So that's really an interesting concept. That's definitely very, very interesting to me. And the other parts, I think you have on there, knowing from the body type and how you heal yourself. So that would be very interesting read. And So where is this book? I think it's available on Amazon, right? The book is
Correct. It is
available on Amazon.
available on Amazon right now. And the other good part about the book also is that there are a lot of different recipes we have included. We have included a lot of different information about different spices,
Mm-hmm.
both, what are their properties according to Ayurveda. We also talked about some of the, home remedies and things that some of these spices could be used as well. And there's a lot of different charts and things. So a lot of wonderful information is there in the book, very systematically written, very simply written.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a lot of evidence-based research that we have done, especially with writing this book and the spices and things. So there's a lot of the bibliography about the evidence-based research and things as at the end of the book as well.
So that is so good. That's very nice, because we do need something which can be relied upon. When you get some authentic information, that's a great thing to have. And since you are here and you've been practicing here locally for a long time, we would also like to take this opportunity to give some tips to our viewers, wellness tips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is it that they should be paying attention? Because when they get their hands over the book, of course, they can have all these wonderful recipes. They can find out all the funny things about people by knowing their types. How is the person going to react? What are they going to order, right? I think you sit next and you say, okay, I now know, okay, what is Gauri going to order when she sits for dinner? So by knowing the type, okay, that is awesome. So along with that, give us some valuable information in terms of tips which people can use right away, even before they start reading your book.
Sure. So the one of the first valuable tip I definitely will talk about is that when you go to the grocery store, one is that focus on especially the fruits and vegetables that are available in the season, because those are packed with the nutrients that keep us more healthy and well for that particular season. So we always want to make sure we put attention to that. Second important thing is make sure that we add in more plant-based foods, more plant-based proteins in our meals a lot, adding more fiber in our foods as well. And that helps a lot, especially with our gut and our gut wellness. The third important tip is adding some spices into our meals. It could be something as simple as, turmeric and ginger and pepper and garlic and things. And adding some of these spices actually has shown to improve our gut health. And we know right now that a lot of things is through our gut. Our health, wellness, immunity is through our gut. And especially in this season, if you want to keep ourselves healthy and well, we want to focus on our gut health. And the last important tip I will definitely focus on is when you go to the grocery store, is do not go to the grocery store on an empty stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I
A lot of
remember
times
that.
we tend to add up stuff in our cart which we don't need.
Right. So if you had not told me that, I would remember that, because I still remember from the last time you told me, don't go to the grocery store hungry. I think that's a very interesting one. When I go to the grocery store hungry, the first thing I look for is the frozen food and where is my pizza. That's what I look for. The first thing I think the way to eat unhealthy food is to go hungry in a grocery store. So we'll all remember that one. Thank you for the tips. And one more thing is, how can people reach you? Because you have all this wonderful information, and tell us about your website, Facebook page, and everything. How can people reach out to you?
So people can reach us through our website, which is www.ayurnutrition.com. We also have a Facebook page, which is Facebook at Ayurnutrition. They can follow us on Instagram at Ayurnutrition. They can also give us a call and reach out to us at 972-999-0203.
Excellent. So, and I'll be including all that information. My friends here who are watching, I will be including all that information along with this interview, so you'll be able to get all those information readily available to you. Again, Gauri, thank you so much on behalf of our entire team at Inspiration Masters. I thank you so much for coming here, joining us, and giving some useful tips. And I wish you all the best with all you undertake, and keep on writing more books and bringing more information to people. And again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching us on Facebook, like us on Facebook. That way you don't miss that and you get all this information. Also, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell button. So any of the interviews are published, you get it right away, the notification. Don't miss any of those. So getting some information at all points of time. Again, this is Jay at Inspiration Masters. Thank you for watching, and we are going to see you soon.